Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. This week what we're going to do is we're going to look at what's required for our fire alarm technicians in regards to certification. I know that's something that we all deal with, especially when we run false alarms where we see a technician on site, or if we're doing a fire alarm acceptance test and wondering what are the credentials, what's required, is this guy who he says he is? All right, so let's look at what the state requires here in Alabama, and also let's look at how we can fact check that from the site. So if you're not from Alabama, we're still going to go through how to actually navigate NICET's website to make sure we can fact check to see if a technician is who they say they are. All right, well, hope you'll stick with me, and I hope you enjoy this week. We'll talk soon. Thank you. So our question this week is going to be, what credentials should we expect from our fire alarm technicians here in Alabama? Know that fire alarm work is something that is heavily regulated here in the state of Alabama, and as it should be. And we need to know how to verify that individuals doing the work are legitimate. So that's what this series is going to be on this week. The Certified Fire Alarm Act became law in Alabama on August 1st, 2009. However, there was a 3-year grace period that was enacted, so the law didn't actually go into effect until August 1st of 2012. Since that time, we have seen the professionalism of fire alarm companies brought to a whole different level. And in turn, we're seeing a much better work around the state of Alabama. Well, more specifically in my area from what I can see. So what does this law require? This law requires that every business who installs a fire alarm system in commercial occupancies must be licensed as a certified fire alarm contractor. The contractor must have a NICET Level 3 technician in a position of responsibility or greater, and the license will be issued in the name of the certificate holder and the contractor. So before we allow a fire alarm company to work in our cities or jurisdiction, we need to make sure that they are certified to be able to do that and permitted through the State Fire Marshal's office. So if you go to firemarshal.alabama.gov, and on the right side you scroll down till you see Fire Alarm Permit Search under Permit Search. Click on it. And then what you'll do is you'll put the contractor name in. I'm just going to put in a contractor name, hit search. And as we can see, under security, I can look down and see that their expiration date is 2019 of September, and they are an acceptable company. So I know right off the bat that the company is permitted to do fire alarm work in the state of Alabama. And now I switch gears and can look at the specific technician. So now that we know that the company has a state permit, we can look specifically at the technician. And each technician should be at least a NICET Level 2 or working under the immediate direction on site of that NICET 2 or have an acceptable equivalent. The only acceptable equivalent that I'm aware of from the state is the CFAT Level 2 or the Certified Fire Alarm Technician Level 2. Next, I want to verify that the technician that's standing in front of me is indeed certified to be able to do fire alarm work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to nicet.org. If I haven't verified them already, this is a good chance for me to do it. At the very top line, you'll see 3 over, Verify Certified Personnel. So I'm going to click on it. If he doesn't know his certification ID, you might need to put their information in there. So for me, I'm going to put my last name in there, and then because I'm in Alabama, I'm going to search it. And it's going to pull them up. So I can see here that there's a Level 3 and then also has Level 2 in inspections and testing. So this individual is over, or at least a NICET 2, actually exceeds a NICET 2. So I know that I can accept them as working as a technician in our city because they've been able to provide their permit information, or actually I've been able to verify that they are a legitimate technician. So be sure to pull this up. nicet.org, Verify Certified Personnel. So this letter right here was sent out in 2009 by the State Fire Marshal at the time, Ed Paulk. And it was a great letter because it really summarized the letter of the Certified Fire Alarm Act and how it was to be applied, essentially. So in the first paragraph, what you saw right here was what was required for a company. that they had to have a minimum of a NICET 3 on staff to be able to receive a permit to do fire alarm work in the state of Alabama. Then what you saw next in this section here was the requirements for technicians. So as we mentioned earlier, technicians are required to be at least a NICET 2 or an acceptable equivalent. And this is where Ed Paulk said that the state would allow for the Certified Fire Alarm Technician Level 2, or CFAT, as it said, from the NTS school as an acceptable equivalent. So this was very helpful here. And then this law went into effect August 2012. So it's been on the books for quite some time now. So what I'll do is I'll send this letter out along with the Certified Fire Alarm Bill, or Certified Fire Alarm Act, excuse me, and with the video, so that you have that for your reference. I hope that this brief video has shed some light on what the expectations are for fire alarm companies and technicians. My challenge to you is to remain active in your communities to continue to ensure that only properly permitted and certified fire alarm contractors are operating within your jurisdiction. Properly permitted and certified companies translates to lesser fire alarm activations and quality workmanship. I hope that you all have a great week, and thank you for being with me this week. Next week, I'm going to look at something a little bit different. I'm going to look at the mechanical side and really hone in on proper damper installations. All right, so I look forward to coming back to you next week.